do a deep dive that we wanted to discuss um, AI and AI models, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and all the way into generative AI. But we're gonna do a deeper dive, and we're gonna start from the very beginning of the system. So this material that I'm sharing with you today, it is covered actually in AWS, Amazon Web Services, which is one of the most prominent cloud infrastructures out there. There are other cloud providers as well, like Google, IBM, Microsoft, Azure. And the reason I'm bringing that up, because you have to think about it. Where is AI? Where is it running? Where is all this intelligence coming from? Did it just come out of thin air, or what is happening? So that's a very fundamental question for the ones that are not familiar with cloud computing and hybrid cloud and virtualization and servers. So we're going to talk about what is the backbone, what is the brain, the compute power behind all these machine learning models, all these generative AI models. And we're going to start from the very beginning of the story, because I love stories, I love history. And try to bear with me, because this is my first time actually presenting this slide. I have been trying to make this as short as I can, so by providing the most information as possible. So let's talk about IT and IT infrastructure. So IT stands for information technology. What it is a technology, and this your technology, this data, this network, everything that you might be hearing and you throughout your lifetime, they actually have a backbone. So all the communication that is happening from video communication, YouTube, Facebook, everything has a backbone. And all this data, information, videos, pictures are being processed somewhere, they're being stored somewhere, and they're being communicated. Um, your computer, the way I want to think about it, they're just like human. They have a brain, they have lungs, they have communication method. Um, a computer's brain, it is basically the computing power. The lungs are the fans. The network of a computer is the way they communicate to other computers. And they all have names and addresses, which is called IP addresses, right? So this is how a computer or IT infrastructure communicating to one another and is coexisting. So and these computers are very powerful. As they become very powerful, as the technology progresses, they become very powerful. And a computer, as we were saying, just like a server is a series of computers, just like your laptop, but a lot more powerful without a monitor attached to them. They're just raw computers that have computing power, they have memory, they have storage, they have databases and networks. And again, going to back to our human example, the compute power, the CPU and GPU nowadays is basically the brain for structured and unstructured data. Is for text, CPU and GPU for images and videos. And compute, it is processing, is computing, is generating these, and is analyzing just like humans do. Computers now have started to learn, analyze, reason, decide, and execute, and do that in a loop. And now, most importantly, they have RAM, which is a short-term memory. They know exactly what's going on. And storage, like HDD and SSDs that can store gigs, many giga, like what is trillions of gigahertz. I forgot what is beyond gigahertz, but anyways, um, then it has databases, which is um, or could be structured or unstructured. This is basically where all the information is being stored and categorized. And then eventually has network. This is how it communicates to one another through DNS and routers. And your whole AI infrastructure is sitting on these servers. And the more powerful these servers are becoming, the more powerful your AI is becoming. And let's put all these servers, thousands of these servers together, and they each generate one data center. And there are quite a few data centers around there across the world. Let's say each region has about 3 to 10 data centers, depending on the metroplex. And for example, Dallas might have a data center. Austin might have a data center. You might have multiple data centers in Dallas or multiple in Austin or Houston. That's one region. That is your south. And then you have your west, which is your, let's say, Southern California, LA, San Diego, and I don't know, Irvine data centers. So if something that might happen in Texas, let's say electricity goes out because of what the winter storm, you still have data and you still have your information stored somewhere, and your clients and users can access their information no matter where they are at any time, even if um, the servers in one region might go down. So let's see what's here under networking. So our point is not to talk about networking or cloud compute, but I did want to just walk you through some of this. So networking, it is a very interesting concept. It's how computers communicate to each other. Each computer has an address, and then they communicate through IP addresses. And all this information and data, it turns into data packets across 7 layers, and they're transferred from your computer going through your I don't know, your fiber connector to the Wi-Fi, and then going Wi-Fi to the router, and router through fiber network, um, all the way to a data center. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not the expert in that, but then it uses switches and routers to route from one region to another, and then from one laptop to, let's say there's 20 laptops connected to the one router, it connects a switch, allows it to decide who is the right um, address or computer. So it is very interesting stuff. And now cloud computing, AWS, or let's say other cloud providers like IBM, AWS, Amazon Web Services, Google Cloud, Microsoft, they provide um, cloud computing power. Okay, that is mostly on their servers, and they're providing that on their servers. And what this is called is a, let's say, a virtual server or virtualization that allows us to um, break down series. Okay, let me take that back. So they're using a technology called a hypervisor to break down a server into many smaller pieces and try to lease or sell, let's say, let you use as much as you need, pay as you go, of this server in order to execute your task, whether that is um, whatever that could be, it really, whatever task that okay, so let's go. I hope that that made sense, but that's not our point. Let's go to now to machine learning and different types of machine learning, and how then eventually you can utilize this technology in real day and real time. So machine learning and core concept of machine learning, um, there is two main types of data types. So the best way you could say, and now in a world that you can utilize machine learning, is the best way to categorize it is based on two different types or data. So you have structured data and then you have your unstructured data. Structured data is your text, you know, it's databases, is rows and columns, is X and Y and Z's. Unstructured data, it's your imaging, it's your PDFs, is your videos, and whatever that you cannot really structure in a format. You can call it unstructured data. Now, structured data usually uses CPU, and unstructured data uses GPU. All right. So there's supervised learning, which is based on labeling data. There is unsupervised learning, which is based on grouping and anomaly detection. That, let's say, for example, they use that, more frequently model that they use in hospitals, because you cannot really take other people's information. What you're doing is that you show it millions of pictures of what a healthy lung looks like, and then the device, the CT scan, can identify if there is something not healthy about that lung. And it's like, okay, I identified that. That's not normal, anomaly. That there's something wrong about this, and it tries to identify it. So let's talk about feature engineering and the machine learning lifecycle. Actually, let's see if we can create a second video for all of this. Okay, so what I will do, I'll create a third part of this video. I don't want this become too long, and then we do a deep dive into the machine learning concepts and Amazon and AWS and how you can utilize these machine learning tools. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. Y'all have a great day.